Tomba, 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 Tomba this, and Tomba that. He, she, we, Tomba. Eat, sleep, drink, Tomba. But if Tomba is so good, why don't they make a second one? Oh, they did. Tomba 2, The Evil Swine Return is a direct sequel to the original and ups the ante in just about every aspect. Better graphics, catchier music, more iconic levels, fully voiced US dialogue, more Charles, and that's just scratching the surface. And with the tagline, The Evil Swine Return, I'll give you 3 guesses as to who the main antagonist is this time around. That's right, it's Zippo. Starting off this game, you're immediately greeted by a vibrant 3D world with a beautiful ocean backdrop. However, don't let the third dimension fool you. This game follows in the original's footsteps for traversal, meaning to get from point A to point B, you'll be going in a straight line for the most part. However, it should be noted with the 3D environment that the straight line doesn't feel so straight because you'll be finding yourself curving around cliff sides or even jumping between and underneath pipes to explore. There are a handful of areas that you'll explore every crevice of in order to save your friend Tabby. Speaking of the areas, the world of Tomba 2 and honestly goes for a more traditional collection of areas. Where the first game had some very unique locations, the second game I feel like tones back the weirdness from 10 to maybe a 5 or 6. You have your water level, fire level, cursed forest level, a chicken nugget ranch level, and other locations you've seen in other platformers to explore in your adventure this time around. In terms of the layout of each level, I'd say that Tomba 2 definitely feels like everything was placed more intentionally than with Tomba. Maybe that's just the byproduct of finding your groove in the sequel, but I can definitely step back and appreciate the effort put into the level design this time around. The camera does a lot of the heavy lifting to offer a grander scope of the verticality and size of some of these areas that you'll be exploring. Each location feels like a playground that you won't feel like is as much of a chore to backtrack for that missing item or chest. Even the way the backtracking and progression foreshadowing are handled in this game feel like a natural evolution from the original. For instance, in the previous game, a lot of the backtracking you would do would be for chests that would either contain lunchboxes or other items for completing quests. In this game, however, you are shown not only inaccessible chests, but inaccessible doors from the first 10 minutes. I know there's spots like that in the first game, but it feels more intriguing seeing a door with a little mouse head on it, just wondering how you'll be able to get in there to explore. I'm not sure how to explain it exactly, and maybe it has to do with the fact that you can see previous areas and that we have these transition cutscene between areas, but this world definitely feels a lot more connected. Another fantastic quality of this game that ties the experience together would have to be the music. Call it nostalgia, call it bias, call it whatever you want, but there's something so magical, weird, and catchy about nearly every track in the North American OST of this game. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about music theory or time signatures and their effect on the end user's feelings towards a certain track, but I know that the late composer, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Asif Hakik, had a wonderful understanding of what Tomba was and perfectly crafted songs that fit the scene that you were in. I can hear the Donglan Forest theme in my head if I close my eyes for too long, as weird and slightly annoying as it may be. The Water Temple music sounds like something that would be at home in a Zelda dungeon with how atmospheric it comes across. Absolutely charming and beautiful tracks can be found in this man's work. The game does also feature a Japanese soundtrack that does have its merits too, but I think the North American version takes the cake in my book. The one thing that I will say that might get on people's nerves is the fact that almost every time a dialogue is started, there's a handful of short jingles that loop indefinitely during the voice acting. It can be jarring, but after 100 plus quests, you'll be used to it. You're telling me that there's that many quests to find and complete in this game? That's massive! 137 to be exact, 133 events and 4 special Tomba quests that are exclusive to those with a Tomba save file in the original release. Outside of those special quests, you'll do just about everything you can ever dream to do. I'm talking events for finding a secret behind a waterfall, finding some Kujar and bringing them home, ripping off red-hot gelatinous enemies from steam pipes, calling 3 girls liars, and so much more. In terms of things to do in this game and how they're handled in relation to the first game, really explores that natural progression of finding your stride in game development. One thing that I personally really enjoy are the minigames that are featured here. There are 3 minigames that you play to unlock a super secret upgrade that I won't spoil. They are the Kujar washing minigame, the berry nut minigame, and the infamous trolley ride minigame. Each offers a unique experience and a little break from your adventure so you can go for the best time or the highest score. So you've done all your events, you played all the minigames, and you've taken a ride on Potato Bug. Now what? Well, it's time to get to work on capturing those evil pigs. Similar to the first game, your main objective is to track down evil pig bags that will reveal evil pig doors and allow you to, you guessed it, fight some evil pigs. Now I say fight with air quotes because Tomba doesn't throw hands, Tomba throws you. And if you're an evil pig, you are getting thrown into a bag. It's that simple. What isn't simple, however, are the amazing designs we've gotten for nearly every evil pig. The ice and ghost pig are my favorite, and I don't want to spoil the final pig's design, but it's up there too. With these fights, you'll be placed in beautifully crafted sub-areas that incorporate whatever elemental design that evil pig shares. A snowscape with rolling hills and icicles, a haunted house with distorted architecture, or even an underground cave with some atmospheric rock formations. This game has gone above and beyond with what the areas looked like in the previous installment. Even the way that the evil pig bag moves around the environment is dynamic for each area, and it's such a fun mechanic that I wish we had more of. Call it wishful thinking, but I would love some sort of boss rush if we ever were blessed with a full remaster of these games. So you know about the game now, but what makes this version the special edition? Well, I'm going to sound like a bit of a broken record if you've seen my review of Tomba's Special Edition that I released last year, but with this one you get similar features such as the ability to rewind at any time, as well as 3 save states to utilize at your leisure. The museum also does make its return with some cool 2D and 3D renders. However, disappointingly so, there are no interviews with the original team or a remastered soundtrack of any kind. I'd go as far as to say that in terms of the extra goodies, the first Special Edition has this game beat. I'm still grateful that we have the option to switch between the North American and Japanese OSTs, but it should be noted that your save file is tied to whatever OST you start on. I played the original Tomba when I was 4 years old. I'll be turning 30 at the end of this year. I've been a massive fan of this game for almost my entire life. I've formed core memories with the gameplay and music, and as a child I even drew pictures of the game when I wasn't playing it just because of how much I loved how special it was. Even as an almost 30-year-old guy, I still love this game. I feel like I could play it every day and never get tired of it. The gameplay is, in all honesty, dated by many standards, but I feel like the same can be said about greats like Ocarina of Time or even Crash Bandicoot. I think Tomba 2 offers so much in terms of unique level design, music, and just overall charm of its characters and gameplay that it is absolutely worth giving a shot to. If I can convince at least one person to give this game an honest go by watching this review, I will feel like I've succeeded. So with that, I'd like to end this review off with a quote from the game itself. But remember, we never really die. Someday, somewhere, we'll play again. Right, Tomba? Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a good one. Bye-bye.